Progress on the pinball machine's been pretty slow. Most of the stuff is things that wouldn't be evident when you're looking at it from the top. No real changes there. Went in, fixed up a few things. One of the things I wanted to talk about was in the last video, I think it was, I had a gate assembly that was sticking. And I got that little guy pulled out here. It's essentially a little gate that flips back and forth. And I wasn't quite sure whether or not it was mechanical binding at the time or whatever else, so I kind of started poking at it, and I was able to tell that it was not mechanical binding because it was working back and forth smoothly enough, and had to think about it for a little bit. And finally I realized that maybe something was magnetized in there, sticking, and kind of played around with it. Came across out, had taken a wrench and just put near the end of the end stop. So there's like an end stop on this solenoid. And I noticed every once in a while when I do that, I couldn't really feel any magnetic attraction there. But the gate would release generally when I put that wrench near there. So started kind of looking into that, going, okay, how do you demagnetize something on that? And people were talking about heat and hitting things with hammers. Well, that's not going to work for something like this. And by chance, I happen to be a scrounge. I keep a lot of stuff around. I've got something really old school here I'm going to show. And it is essentially a demagnetizer that was used way back when there was floppy disks and other things like that you might want to destroy. It just kind of happened that somebody gave this to me a long time ago and I kept it. And drug that thing out. So what my first thought was, it was this end stop on here. I was thinking, okay, that's magnetized, and it's like when that shaft that slides back and forth, that it goes in there and was sticking to it. So I pulled that off and I ran the demagnetizer all over on it, put it back on, still sticking. I was kind of sitting there going, what the? And after a little bit I realized, well, that shaft that's going in and out, that's more than likely got iron in it. So pulled it out, demagnetized it. Sure enough, that fixed the problem. It no longer sticks, releases all nice. People are talking about alternatives to do it, of getting some kind of electric, one of the things I saw was using a soldering iron body of one of the bigger soldering guns, like the old school Wellers, and kind of moving that back and forth around. I don't know if that would work or not. Most people are not going to be able to find one of these, but it's just kind of a problem that you have to think about, that you're going to get things that are going to get magnetized, whether or not it's the pinball itself, the actual ball, or if it's other things like this where you get caught off guard. Anyway, that's kind of one of the things that has occupied just a little bit of time. Also put in some protection circuitry for that switch matrix I was working on to kind of help out there a little bit. That took longer than anticipated. Anyway, I'm still working on the thing. I'll just kind of keep making videos periodically here and there, talking about what I'm doing on it.